Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's video I'll be reviewing this. This is Transformers Legacy Laser Optimus Prime, and here he is in package. Very much excited to finally get this in hand, as I was very much looking forward to this updated Generation 2 Laser Prime in Generations format. Very cool box art of him in robot mode here and in his vehicle mode. Very cool that they added this little missile pod here. I don't think this was a feature in the original Generation 2 toy, but I don't own it, so I can't say for sure. Here we have the side of the box. Nice profile pic of Optimus Prime and a little bit of his vehicle mode. And the other side of the box with various Autobots and Optimus Prime. And the back of the box, you have a little QR code that you can scan to get his tech specs and pictures of him in his robot mode, vehicle mode, and little battle station mode. 30 steps to transform. Okay, let's get Laser Optimus Prime out of the box. Here is Laser Optimus Prime out of the package. He comes with his instruction sheet. It's actually a very large poster. Now the colors are very nice, very easy to read, and nicely illustrated. He comes with his sword, which is molded in translucent blue plastic. He comes with his axe, also in translucent blue, and this dark gray or blackish handle here. Very cool. Several 5mm ports on it. He comes with this double-barreled gun, which is not that great of a gun, if you ask me. Looks like some 5mm ports on the bottom there. But yeah, this will not do as a gun for Optimus Prime. It comes with his trailer, and it's a very nicely detailed trailer. Now this part here is actually for the gun, so you can peg that in. Nicely painted rims here, and a detail on the back. Now it is not black like the original G2 Laser Prime, but more of a very, very dark gray. Now I can flip this down so the trailer can stand on its own. And last but not least, he comes with Laser Optimus Prime himself in vehicle form, which is kind of cool. Most of the time Transformers come in their robot mode. Very nice looking truck, nice painted apps on the rims, even the front rims, because Earthrise Optimus Prime didn't have painted front rims. The grille looks very cool. Nice little paint detail here over the headlights. He does have an Autobot symbol. Would have been kind of cool if it was a Generation 2 Autobot symbol though. And he does share a lot of the same legs or back of the truck as Earthrise Optimus Prime, which we'll go over in detail a bit later. Now you can attach the trailer like so. A lot of wiggle room compared to Earthrise, I think. I don't think Earthrise had a lot of wiggle room. Rolls very nicely. Speaking of Earthrise, let's bring Earthrise Optimus Prime here for a little side-by-side. You can see Laser Optimus Prime is slightly longer. The trailer is a little bit shorter, I think. I don't know. They're roughly the same. And again, the cool part, because they do share the same legs, they can basically share the same trailer. You can put Laser Optimus Prime's trailer on Earthrise and Earthrise on Laser Prime, back and forth. And of course, Earthrise does share similar legs to the Siege version of Optimus Prime. So Siege can take on Laser Optimus Prime's trailer. Granted, there is no wiggle room. He barely makes it fit, but it does. And just a little side-by-side from Siege to Earthrise, also Kingdom, and now Legacy. Very cool to see all these different versions of Optimus Prime. And for some size comparisons in vehicle mode, here is Laser Optimus Prime next to Buzzworthy Legacy Silver Streak, and Generation Selects G2 Megatron with my 3D printed upgrade kit here if you're interested in this kit. I have links to my Etsy store in the description below. Okay, let's get Laser Optimus Prime transformed into his robot mode and battle station mode. Here is Legacy Optimus Prime in his robot mode and his battle station mode. Put the robot mode aside and take a look at his battle station. You can see he does have some weapon storage here for the sword and his axe. And it pretty much just opens up to this battle platform with, I guess, some sort of repair claw here and a gun on the top, which can also rotate 360. Now this piece actually can come off as well. It's basically a 5mm peg and a 5mm port. So that's kind of cool. But pretty simple battle station mode. Not as elaborate as the original G2 Laser Prime, where you had these rocket launchers, these disc launchers. But for what it is, I think it's okay. You have all these 5mm ports as well in here to store other items if you want. So that's kind of cool. But it is a pretty basic take on his trailer from G2. So it's adequate in my opinion. It's not, it could be better because with the original version, you had rocket launchers, you had the missile launcher bay and disc launchers. Of course, it had that air pump feature, but I'm not too much expecting that air pump feature for him, but it would have been nice if it had a little bit more, such as the missile launchers and the disc launcher. Let's take out his weapons because we're going to take a look at his robot mode. So take the weapons from the trailer storage. Let's put the trailer aside here and bring Laser Optimus Prime in robot mode. Now, overall, I think he looks great. He has a nice head sculpt there, very true to the Generation 2 Laser Prime look. The arms, though, you know, it works. It just seems a little too skinny for me. I think it has to do more with the mechanism. The original Laser 2 Prime, this was the whole part of his shoulder. In here, this seems to be more a part of the body, and the shoulder is down here. I personally would have preferred the more traditional style where this part is a part of his shoulder instead of his body. Kind of buffs him up a bit. But I get why they did it because of the transformation. But yeah, it just seems like, you know, his arms are a little too skinny for my liking. Not as beefy as the original Generation 2 Laser Prime. Let's put his weapons on. His sword can go here. And his axe over here. And there you go, all armed and ready to go. Let's take a closer look at him here. Very cool weapons. I don't really care for this axe, to be honest. I would actually have preferred it come with a proper gun. But unfortunately, it came with this axe. But he does look pretty good. You can see the matrix inside here. Let's lift it up. Now this matrix is actually different from the one that was in Earthrise Prime, and which we got with Legacy Galvatron as well. You can see the difference in mold for the two matrices, and the fact that this matrix cannot fit inside Earthrise Prime as it's a little too small. Pretty interesting that they gave him his own type of matrix instead of reusing the Earthrise mold. Yeah, it doesn't fit. This one is a little too big. Besides the matrix, another cool feature is these panels here that you can flip up, which reveal these rocket launchers in this translucent plastic, which is very cool. Now, I did mention he doesn't come with a proper gun, but he does come with a gun, which is this double-barreled weapon from his trailer, which he can hold in his hand like so. But yeah, it is not a nice looking weapon. Now, I did 3D print one, still in the works, but I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of the old G2 look, but it was a little too stubby for my preferences, so I kind of extended it. But hopefully I'll have a finalized version of this soon on my Etsy store. But this is just a little prototype that I made for my Generation 2 Optimus Prime. Moving on to articulation of the figure, the head is on a ball joint, can rotate 360, tilt up and down, left and right. The arms, well, technically could go 360. This piece is in the way. You do have this flap that you can lift up, that you can rise up this high and this far back. You can lift up at the shoulder this much. He can rotate at the bicep 360. He can bend at the elbow this much. He does have wrist rotation. He can spin at the waist 360. He can do the splits. He can kick this far up, this far back. He can rotate at the thigh 360. He can bend at the knee this much. And he does have ankle tilt. And for some size comparisons, here is Laser Optimus Prime next to Premium Finish Siege Optimus Prime, Earthrise Optimus Prime, Legacy Bulkhead, Legacy Skids, Legacy Galvatron, Generation Selects G2 Megatron with my 3D printed upgrade kit. If you want more information on that kit, I'll put a link to my Etsy store in the description below. So my final thoughts on Legacy Laser Optimus Prime. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the figure. It meets the mark, but it doesn't surpass it for me. There are some issues that I have with the main figure here itself, mainly the arms. I wish that the shoulder pieces here were not a part of the body, but were actually a part of the arms, because the way it's designed, the articulation in the arms is very limited. I would have liked them to actually keep the same type of design that the original had and just make it a little bit more modern. But with this new design, the arms are now a lot more limited. The other issue I have with the figure is the weapon, but honestly, for me, because I can 3D print stuff, it's not a huge issue. As you can see, I've added my own 3D printed gun for him. He does have that hollowness here on the back. Again, hollowness like that in those areas are not too big. I'll probably make some fillers if I have some time, but for me, the biggest issue is really the arms. Now, it does have some nice features that the original didn't have. Like, you do have these missile pods that open up, which is very cool to have. And of course, he does have the Matrix of Leadership inside. So that is a plus. So overall, he's an okay. I don't want to say he's okay. I think he's a little more than okay, but he could be better. Now, same goes with the trailer. I do like the trailer, but it could be better. And I guess it's really hard to look at this trailer and not compare it with the original. I mean, we have a toy that's in G2 that's over 20 years old, and that trailer had so much jam-packed features with that air-launched rocket, the disc shooter, and the rocket launchers. And this one, it doesn't even have all the weapons. I don't need them to actually fire as projectiles. I'm actually okay if it doesn't. I mean, that's a nice gimmick. I like it a lot, but I get it. You know, the child safety, toy standards, and whatever. but it doesn't have as much weaponry as I wish it did. It does have this little repair bay thing, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the trailer, it looks good. It's sufficient enough, but in my opinion, it could have been so much better. Anyway, that is it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Follow us on social media and check out our Discord. Links in the description below.